Hello, my friends, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to this month's to December's Stretch the Sketch, where on the third Sunday of every month, a whole lovely group of us get together and we take a 12 by 12 sketch and we either stretch it over to a two-page 12 by 24, or we shrink it, as I am doing here today, down to a 6 by 8, because this is going to be an entry into my December documented. Now, I often do sort of a shrink and a stretch where I do a double 6 by 8, but this story did not need that, and this month, I admit, I'm a little pressed for time. But here we go. And the other thing you will notice with this one is this entry is in French because it's a play on words, and it only works in French. Now, you can see the sketch that Janet had chosen for us this month, and she found it on Pinterest. And she said that on Pinterest, it linked back to a blog. So there was nothing actually written on the sketch, but it was a Pinterest find. You will also notice that I flipped it. I turned it on its side. But I did follow it pretty closely, other than perhaps that little cluster in the corner of the sketch, because of course, doing this smaller format, I'm filling up pretty much the entire page anyway. So I took, if you recall, I think, was it on day 1 or day 2? Anyway, one of the early entries that I did, I had gutted a bunch, 3 or 4 different papers from the Vicki Boutin Warm Wishes 6 by 8 paper pad to decide which one I wanted to use, and therefore I kept the others on standby. And this lovely red with a little bit of distressing and sort of charcoal in the background was perfect for this layout. So, and then I just used some white cardstock that I cut down by about 3/4 of an inch and placed it askew on that little background the way the sketch does. And I taped it all down. There you go, Sandy, if you are watching. I taped it all down with some washi. So the story for this, now, of course, this is going up on the 19th, of course, and I'm actually recording it on the 19th because that's how things are rolling right now. But on the 7th of December, things were looking quite good here, and our provincial premier announced that there would be a relaxation in some of our rules for the Christmas period, and we would be allowed Christmas parties or gatherings in our homes of up to 20 vaccinated people. 20, which in French is 20, V-I-N-G-T, 20, for 20. By the same token, and around the same time, a couple of days before, and it continued actually until just a couple of days ago, or even I think maybe even yesterday. Anyway, our liquor commission, the SAQ, the warehouse workers and distribution centers were on strike. I mean, of course, they chose the perfect time of the year to make negotiations go a little bit faster. So that day, as our premier was announcing these relaxations and that we would be allowed to have gatherings and we'd be allowed to be up to 20 people, and of course the restaurants had only just a couple of weeks before that gone back to full capacity, there we were with empty liquor commission SAQ shelves. And this is my nephew Joey who sent this to me as he went to do a few errands, and you can see this very lonely bottle of wine right here down there. So on social media, newspapers and news, the saying became 20 sans vin, because vin, V-I-N, is wine in French. So 20 without wine, but it rhymes and it's just a funny tongue-in-cheek saying in French. So Vincent Vin became sort of the fun joke for the next few days. Now, the joke turns out to be on us because actually the SAQ should be restocking, but we are now back down to a maximum of 10, and who knows what's going to happen this week. But anyway, so that gives you the backstory, and that is why this layout is in French. And if I do the title in French, well, I did the journaling in French as well, which for my French friends, François Legault annonce que nous pouvons être 20 vaccinés à Noël. Mais là en grève. So there you go. So that is really just what I told you. So I went here and I stayed fairly true to the sketch. I got some scraps, did a little bit of fishtailing, just a diagonal notch. And here, this fun sort of larger ticket shape, because I wanted to do, all I do for that is I basically use, depending on the size, sort of a 1/2 inch circle punch, and I come in and create those notches, and it does a larger ticket. Isn't that fun? I'm sure most of you know that, but I just think that is fun, so I thought I'd give you that, since I apologize because of everything, lighting and timing and whatever. This is a share. So there you go, my little ticket piece, and I used a lot of the scraps. So there's some candy-coated Christmas here from Tracy Reed, these 2 pieces. There is some Vicki Boutin Warm Wishes, some Stampin' Up. There is some Cocoa Vanilla Joyful on here as well, because once I got all of these lovely papers down, popped the photo up on foam, very little embellishment because the title itself already takes up a lot of space. So I just got a few chipboard stars from the Joyful collection, a couple of the Vicki Boutin Puffy stickers, and a little ho, 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 just because. So there you go, my friends. That is my Stretch the Sketch, where I just shrunk it this month down to the 6x8. Please make sure you pop along and follow all of the links down below to see all of the awesome, awesome projects today. You'll see some 12x24s. You'll see some probably 8.5x11s, maybe even some TN, some Traveler's Notebook spreads, some other 6x8s, and maybe someone else will do what is often what I do, a double 6x8. And I will see you, as we will all, back here on the 3rd Saturday of January. I hope you are having a lovely season if you celebrate, and a fantastic December if you don't. Or even if you do. Off I go. Bye, friends. Thanks for being here.